pirates, summon the heroic spirit Drake at the beginning. Author, like the wind. Page 141. I can't help it. I really don't want to deal with such a terrible guy. Peluslino shook his head, looked at Gilgamesh, and put his hands in front of him. Yatagara mirror. Following Peluslino's words, his body instantly turned into a burst of light and shot towards Gilgamesh. At the same time, the top worker turned into an ice lion, followed closely behind the yellow ape, and you towards Gilgamesh. Looking at Peluslino and Agent Zero rushing over, Gilgamesh raised the corner of his mouth, raised his right hand and waved it downward. Following Gilgamesh's movements, dozens of noble phantasms shot at Zephyr, who was still vigilant against himself. Seeing that Gilgamesh did not block the approach of himself and the yellow ape, the agent became puzzled. 122. Chapter 0. The CP, agent who was instantly killed, for subscription. But just as Agent Zero's suspicion arose, he found that Gilgamesh in front of him suddenly disappeared. In front of him was only the yellow ape that gradually condensed from the light state back to their human form. He stopped and looked around. At this moment, the castle disappeared, Garp and others also disappeared, and even the night became day. Another world, the agent said solemnly. Could it be that Ziyun's unlimited sword system? But I didn't see that guy singing those words at all. Could it be that that guy was on the battle Elden secretly chanting? But didn't it mean that this is the world of swords? Why is there only yellow sand here, and there is no huge wheel in the sky as mentioned in their information? The worker raised his head and looked at Peluslino, who stopped in front of him. Ziyun, you have been to this world before. Why is this place different from the one in the information? I don't know very well either. Peluslino shrugged. Speaking of which, I'm also wondering what kind of place this is. It feels different from the world of swords I've been to before. Welcome to my world. Just when Agent Zero was puzzled and annoyed, a mature female voice appeared behind him. Quickly turned his head and found that on the sandy ground where there was nothing just now, there appeared a mature and sexy woman wearing a transparent scarf. There is also a blue strong man awaiting beside her, just like her bodyguard. You are the woman next to Ziyun, right? Slowly walking towards Shanruzad. Your name seems to be Shanruzad, and you are a woman who is very close to Ziyun. Although I don't know where this is, there is a high probability that it has the same ability as that. Emiya Shiru's unlimited swordsmanship. It's really scary. Is the woman beside Ziyun also so scary? Peluslino followed closely behind Agent Zero, clasped and pulled his hands, and the Amazno sword appeared in his hands. Also, it turned out to be about the same ability as Emiya Shiru, so we have to be cautious. If there are many swords suddenly appearing around, it will be super scary. Dare to appear in front of the two of us alone. Is it because you are very confident in your own ability, or? As he spoke, the agent looked around. Yes, there are actually other people here. Are they trying to catch us off guard? Seeing Peluslino and Agent Zero approaching him constantly, Scheherazade, who doesn't like getting, was not nervous, but smiled instead. It's true that I'm the only one here. The king's words are still outside. As for the other companions, of course they are also outside, Scheherazade said with a smile. So, you have the contents to deal with me at the same time. The agent looked at Scheherazade gloomily. If this is the case, then you underestimate us. However, as a person, if I catch you, I should be able to blackmail the Ziyun. Although I am the only one who came here, I will not GHT with you. Scheherazade shook his head. No, maybe Ziyun's partner who came here is not one person, but two people. Well, what do you mean? Laugh. Page 142. Before Gongnished speaking, he felt a sharp pain in his heart. Cough, cough. What's going on? The agent looked at his chest and found that his heart had been pierced by a sword of light. The worker turned his head and looked back, and found that the lightsaber was being held by Peluslino at the moment. What do you mean, yellow ape? The agent roared angrily. Didn't Scheherazade just say that she is not the only one who came to this place but Ziyun's companion? Peluslino grinned and looked at Agent Zero. Could it be that? The agent's eyes widened, and at the same time, his body began to swell, and his chest gradually stopped bleeding. Sorry, Ziyun's second companion she mentioned is me. After finishing speaking, Peluslino didn't give Agent Zero a chance to recover, and Amakan Yunjian pulled it up personally, and immediately, Agent 2's upper body and head were split in two by Peluslino's lightsaber. Really, I've been displeased with you for a long time. Looking at Agent Zero, who was almost split in half, Huang Yuan scattered Tankan Yan's sword and said with a cold mouth, even if you are a strong person, if you are careless, you will die instantly. Seeing the death of Agent Zero, Scheherazade came to Peluslino's side. This is a lesson. I must not be careless in the future. I don't want to die. With Marshal Ziyun by your side, even if you want to die, it will be very difficult. Peluslino turned his head to look at Scheherazade. Speaking of which, during the time I was away, the Marshal had many more terrifying companions. Your ability must be terrifying. After finishing speaking, Peluslino looked curiously at the surroundings and the blue gear awaiting behind Scheherazade. Since we can create an independent world like Emir, it shouldn't be possible to call out only those behind you. That guy. Anyway, the battle outside may not be over yet. If you don't suggest it, can you tell me about the new companions that have appeared recently? As he said that, Huang Yuan kicked Hogong away and sat on the sand. Knowing more about my companions will help me get along well with these monster companions in the future. When Scheherazade saw Peluslino kicking the Zero agent away, he couldn't help being stunned, and shook his head. What a poor guy. He has a lot of strength, but he has no chance to use it at all. Is that Agent Zero? Huang Yuan turned his head to look at the corpse of Agent Zero lying not far away. Fortunately, this guy's phantom beast fruit is not like that. Phoenix's Marco, otherwise we couldn't get rid of him all at once. Mr. Peluslino is too modest. Even if he has the ability like that. Marco, if you are serious, he will die instantly if he is stabbed in the back by you. Scheherazade smiled and said, how is this possible? Peluslino smacked his lips exaggeratedly. Although I don't like this guy, he is also a monster. I can't do what you say. Scheherazade shook his head. Mr. Peluslino's character is exactly what Wang said. 123. Scheherazade sat lightly on the sand and said to Peluslino, it is also the king's intention to introduce the newcomers in the team to Mr. Peluslino, so during the period when my inherent barrier is unfolding, I will properly introduce some information about the newcomers, including me, to Mr. Peluslino. If Mr. Peluslino has any questions, you can ask me. Then, I will count on you, Scheherazade. Mr. Peluslino nodded. In Scheherazade's inherent barrier, Scheherazade leisurely introduced to Peluslino some of their situation on the ship after he left the Golden Deer. But the outside world, the Navy, has already become a mess because of the disappearance of Peluslino and Agent Zero. Damn it, why did it happen like this? Why did Huang Yuan and Agent Zero suddenly disappear? Zephyr, who dodged the Gilgamesh noble phantasm again, roared angrily. It must have been brought into that world of swords by that fellow Xian. Garp, who fought archery again, retreated to Zephyr's side for a while. Old man, it seems that we are going to face another tough battle together. I hope that Huang Yuan and that Zero worker can win points and defeat Xian. Garp, are you alright? Zephyr looked at Garp who was panting slightly and said, it's okay, I'm not that easy to lose yet. Ha ha. Page 143. Garp laughed loudly and said, however, the little girl on the other side is amazing. After getting with me for so long, she is not tired at all. Am I really getting old? Besides, that sword in her hand is dangerous. Zephyr. Even Hawkeye's supreme sword, the strongest black sword in the world, is not as dangerous as that sword. After speaking, Garp brought his ST in front of him, and there were already several scratches on it. Although there was no bleeding, the marks were obvious. If you don't cover it well with the armed color, maybe your ST will be cut off by that sword. Garp, are you alright? Seeing the scratches on Garp's Iron Street, Zephyr was quite surprised. Do you need my help? Ha ha, Zephyr, you'd better deal with that golden guy. Garp laughed. That guy, I don't think it's easy to deal with. You don't need to tell me, I know too. After Zephyr finished speaking, he looked at Gilgamesh seriously. Since I'm getting with this king, I can still chat so casually. It seems that this king has not put enough pressure on you. Gilgamesh looked at Zephyr unhappily. In that case, how about these treasures? After speaking, Gilgamesh drew two huge swords towards Zephyr, and in a blink of an eye, he was in front of Zephyr. Seeing the huge sword close at hand, Zephyr raised his black hands with a solemn face, and slammed the sword heavily. Boom! With a loud noise, Zephyr's body was slammed into the navy by the noble phantasm projected by Gilgamesh. In the backward direction of Zephyr, none of the navy could stand still, and all of them were knocked out by Zephyr. Seeing Zephyr being smashed into the air, Garp just thought. Rushing over to help him, Artorio attacked Garp again with the sword of the vowed victory. Hateful. Garp had to punch Artorio again. You people, with such great strength, why are you standing on the opposite side of the navy? Did that fellow Xian bring Huang Yuan and Zero's agents into that world of swords? Are you looking for me, Garp? Just as Garp and Archeria were getting, Xian's voice came from the direction of the castle wall. Hearing Xian's voice, Archeria slightly paused her attack on Garp, and Garp took this opportunity to retreat to the side of the navy soldiers. At the same time, because Xian appeared beside him, Gilgamesh temporarily scattered the golden ripples and weapons covering the sky. At this moment, many soldiers of the navy and the world government, including the vice admiral, under the castle were not seriously injured. Originally, with the strength of the vice admiral, Gilgamesh did not intend to take special care of them. But when he set his eyes on Zephyr, quite a few lieutenant generals of the High headquarters towards him stepping on a mooncloth. For these guys who dared to attack him, Gilgamesh naturally gave them a few powerful treasures. If it weren't for their strength, they would be okay, and Gilgamesh didn't have the idea of killing them. At this moment, they would already be a pile of corpses. Hearing Xian's voice, except Garp and Zephyr, every soldier who was still awake looked in their direction of the city wall. At this moment, Xian was sitting beside Gilgamesh, looking at them with a smile on his face. Behind Ziyun, Minamoto Reimitsu looked coldly at the soldiers under the city wall with a knife in his hand, and Semiramis was also standing beside Ziyun, looking at Garp and the others with a smile on his face. Ziyun, you came out unexpectedly. Where did Huang Yuan and Zero's agents go? Seeing that Ziyun didn't have any wounds on his body, and even his clothes didn't have a speck of dust, he thought he had easily defeated Palouse Lino and Garp of Zero in Unlimited Sword system, and became nervous. Not only Garp, but Zephyr and other soldiers thought that General Kizaru and Agent Zero on their side had gone to GHT Ziyun. Now seeing Ziyun appearing in front of them without any wounds, plus they didn't see Palouse Lino and Agent Zero, immediately, they were physically and mentally exhausted by Gilgamesh's treasure, feeling even more hopeless. Don't worry, I didn't defeat the person who went to GHT the Yellow Monkey with one hit and Zero. Ziyun shook his head and jumped off the city wall. The next moment, Ziyun, who used his double ability to stop time, came to Garp and put his hand on Garp's shoulder. Seeing Ziyun, who just jumped off the city wall, appeared in front of him in an instant, with his hands on his shoulders, Garp reflexively punched Ziyun heavily. Ziyun waved his palm to block Garp's ST. I'll hand over the Yellow Ape and Zero's agents to Scheherazade. Page 144. Seeing Ziyun, who suddenly appeared next to Garp and had a GHT with Garp, besides Garp himself, Zephyr and other soldiers also opened their mouths and looked at Ziyun in surprise. 124. You bastard, how did you come to me? Garp looked at Ziyun solemnly. He felt that since he fought Ziyun last time, he could not see through Ziyun more and more. I thought he was just a person with strong physical skills, but now Ziyun often shows special and powerful abilities. This is far beyond what the devil fruit ability can explain, because a person can only eat one devil fruit, but according to the information, Ziyun has far more than demonstrated a special ability. Seeing that Ziyun showed another ability similar to space teleportation, Garp felt that his knowledge of most of his life was useless, and he couldn't understand Ziyun's ability at all. Secret. Ziyun smiled, let go of Garp's street, and looked behind the navy. There, Ziyun's telekinetic power found a group of interesting guys. Boom, boom, boom. Soon, after Ziyun looked behind the navy and the others, among the soldiers of the navy and the world government, some people gradually turned their eyes white and fainted to the ground. This is. Sensing a familiar aura, Garp looked behind Hai and the others while guarding against Ziyun. At the same time, Zephyr, who temporarily stopped acting, and a group of vice admirals and powerful world government agents also looked in the direction behind him in surprise. Overlord is domineering, Cap said solemnly. As more and more people fainted, their silhouettes appeared in the crowd behind the navy. The leader of the group was a man with red hair and one arm. Redhead. What are you doing here, you bastard who messed around with my grandson while I was away? Garp saw that the person who came was a red-haired Shanks, one of the 4 emperors. While shocked, he couldn't help being full of anger towards Shanks. After all, it is because of this guy's hero that his grandson Luffy will be arguing all day long to be the One Piece or something. This makes Garp, who has always hoped that Luffy can become an excellent navy, very angry, and even often fantasizes about meeting Shanks' pirate group and beat Shanks hard. Sorry, Garp, let's discuss this later. Meeting Luffy's grandfather Garp, even Shanks was a little embarrassed. I came here today to hope that everyone in the Navy and the world government can give me face and stop the actions against Ziyun and his companions. If you insist on arresting them. Saying that, Shanks pulled out the sword at his waist. Our red-haired pirates are willing to be your opponents. Yes, if you insist on attacking Ziyun and the others, blame my bullets for not recognizing people. Jesus Boo. The sniper of the red-haired pirates raised his gun, said some restless world government workers. Hearing what Shanks and Jesus said, people from the Navy and the world government fell silent. If he and the others had the upper hand in the battle with Zurin, it would be for Shanks to take the lead for Ziyun and the others. However, it is obvious that they are being suppressed and beaten by Ziyun and others. In this case, when they heard Shanks' words, there was nothing but silence for them. Garp frowned, staring at Shanks. What do you mean by the red-haired pirates? What is Ziyun's relationship with your red-haired pirates? They are our benefactors, so we cannot let you captured Ziyun and his companions. Shanks shook his head. There is no room for negotiation on this matter, and we will do our best to repay those who have shown kindness to our red-haired pirates. This point, your navy should be very clear. So, that's all for today. How about it, Cap? Hearing Shanks' words, Garp fell silent. Originally, there was a big disclosure in this battle. The sudden appearance of Night King Artoria and Hero King Gilgamesh, no matter which of these two people they are, cannot be easily defeated. Garp even doubted. These guys, if only the Vice Admiral of the Navy headquarters confronted them, no matter how many, there might be no way to keep them. Page 145. In other words, if you want to win the battle with these two people, at least you need a general to lead the team. Especially that Gilgamesh. If it wasn't for people like the yellow monkeys who have a wide range of attack capabilities to deal with, and other people lead the team, there may be many soldiers who are not strong enough, and even the Lieutenant General of the Navy headquarters can't hold on. Unfortunately, when the yellow ape rushed to Gilgamesh again, it disappeared. This made Cap couldn't help but sigh inwardly. The appearance of these two people who call themselves kings, coupled with the sudden disappearance of Kizaru and Zero's top agents, has had a great impact on Garp's actions. It can be said that if Huang Yuan and Zero's top agents don't show up again, they are likely to lose. In other words, even if they can win in the end, they will inevitably pay a huge price. Under such circumstances, the red-haired pirates appeared again and stood on Ziyan's side, which made Garp really not know how to GHT. Not only Garp, but Zephyr and other generals who did not faint under Shanks' domineering arrogance also frowned deeply. Seeing the silence of Garp and others, Shanks smiled, and led his companions towards Ziyan. Finally, I see you, Ziyan. In front of Ziyan, Shanks looked at Ziyan gratefully. Thank you so much for saving my companion's wife. If it wasn't for you, Jesus would have plunged into endless regret. Yes, Jesus Cloth walked in front of Ziyan, and bowed 90 degrees to Ziyan. Thank you very much. Without your help, I would lose my important family. So, no matter what, I won't let the Navy capture you. Don't worry. Speaking of which, why did you disperse the teams? Shanks asked suspiciously. The people here, together with the people on the Golden Deer who left, should be able to withstand the attacks of these navies. When I got the news that some of your companions left RST, you stayed on this dueling island, and the Navy and the world government sent a large number of people to catch you. I was shocked. So, we speeded up and rushed towards the island. Fortunately, we nearly arrived in time. Saying that, Shanks gave Ziyan and his companions a big hug. It seems that everyone is not injured, and we came in time. Ha ha ha. Well, excuse me, Shanks. Ziyan patted Shanks on the shoulder. In this battle, we are the ones who have the absolute advantage. If you don't come, we might have ended this battle during your delay. Hearing Ziyan's words, Shanks and Jesus beside him widened their eyes in surprise. 125. No way. Haven't most of your companions left? Shanks looked at Ziyan's companions in surprise. Even Li Shuwen who defeated Garp and Captain Drake who defeated the Golden Lion are not with you. Yeah, after hearing that your benefactors only left a few companions on Duel Island, and their navy has brought many powerful people, I'm really worried. Jesus stepped forward and said, Don't I have a new companion here? Ziyan shook his head. Also, even if I don't have any new companions here, I still have their contents that I won't be defeated by the Navy. It seems that Ziyan, your new companion is also very powerful. Shanks saw that Garp, Zephyr and the others did not refute, and looked at Artoria and other newcomers with a little interest. At RST, I thought I could repay you this time, but it seems that we are redundant. Ha ha. Okay, Shanks, since you're going to help, you should stay here RST. Ziyan smiled. After we settle the matter here, come and have a drink. Then it's settled. Shanks laughed. Yes, I have long wanted to meet you, Ziyan. Jesus looked at Ziyan gratefully. Although I heard that Dr. Tsunade is not on the island now, I am very happy to have a drink with you. Ziyan nodded, and looked at Garp and Zephyr. Then, too, most of your soldiers have been overwhelmed by Shanks' domineering arrogance. What are you going to do now? Garp, Zephyr. Seeing that Garp and Zephyr were silent, Ziyan shook his head and said, I have a proposal. Among your people, you two are the most powerful. In that case, it is up to you two to decide the victory of the Navy. Page 146. I will let my two companions GHT with you two separately, and if you win, I will let you leave here. But you lost. Sorry, I ask you to stay as prisoners. Damn pirates, our Navy will not compromise with you. Lieutenant General Ghost Spider stepped forward and roared angrily. Even if our Navy is all killed in battle, we won't be your captives. Admiral Ghost Spider is right. Lieutenant General Flying Squirrel walked to Garp's side. This Ziyan probably wants to take us to the Navy and the world government for ransom. What happened last time has already greatly challenged the majesty of our Navy, and this time, the same thing as last time cannot happen again. Yes, Lieutenant General Garp, Zephyr. Even though many of our soldiers are down, our main force is still awake, and General Huang Yuan and that Zero agent may not be safe. We don't necessarily have to fail. Lieutenant General Ghost Spider said to Garp and Zephyr. I know all of this, but we also need to consider Hong's attitude. Zephyr said solemnly. It's not good to be a prisoner, but at least it's better than giving your life to this place. Ziyan shook his head and said, if you all die here, it will be a huge blow to the Navy. Think about it. 2 pillars of the Navy and a large number of lieutenant generals died here. How tall and excited those pirates would be. You geese don't want the world to become even more chaotic because you are looking for it yourself. Hearing Ziyan's words, even a radical lieutenant general like Ghost Spider was a little speechless. The admirals of the Navy and the agents of the world government looked at Garp and Zephyr in unison. Garp and Zephyr are the strongest here, so the next action will ultimately depend on their attitude of Garp and Zephyr. Ziyun, who was waiting for everyone in the Navy to make a decision, suddenly looked up at the sky. In his perception, there are a large number of islands, ships, and even huge objects made of sea water approaching his direction. Immediately afterwards, Ziyun's companions, the well-informed and domineering Navy and others, and the pirates of the Red Hair Pirates all looked at the sky. Ha 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 ha, Ziyun, I'm back again. After a considerable distance, the voice of the Golden Lion Shiji came from the sky. After a while, the Golden Lion took his men on the island, and the 8 arrived above Ziyun and the others. Golden Lion, you just saved your life. What are you doing here again? Seeing the Golden Lion with obvious malicious intentions, Ziyun said with a smile, could it be that you think you still have treasure, so you want to give it to us? Shut up, you bastard. The Golden Lion, biting his cigar, roared angrily, I am a Golden Lion, a legendary pirate. You guys dare to bring me such shame. Don't think that I will let it go. That's right, it's indeed a legendary pirate, but it's just a character from the previous era. Ziyun shook his head. Since you're old, you should retire well. The present era does not belong to you, Golden Lion. Your current strength is much lower than before. Shut up. The Golden Lion yelled angrily, whether it's you, or that Drake, I won't let it go. As he said that, the Golden Lion waved his hand down, and 2 huge pieces of seawater fell rapidly towards Ziyun. Seeing that the seawater descended by the Golden Lion turned into a huge lion-shaped wave and hit him, Ziyun smiled lightly, and 3 fortresses appeared behind him, and golden rays shot out from them. The lion-shaped waves were instantly destroyed and evaporated. Even if you can block this wave of seawater, it's just a warning. The Golden Lion laughed wildly. There is seawater here that can wash the entire island, so you can break them all up. Ha ha ha. Even if you and your companions have strange abilities, they are nothing but devil fruit users. When you encounter seawater, you will eventually become weak. Last time I came here without sufficient preparation. This time, I will deny to kill you, that Drake, and all your companions. Ha 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 ha. 126. Since you have said such things, there is no turning back. Golden Lion Shiji. Page 147. Ziyun looked at the Golden Lion gloomily. Since you don't want to retire well, then I just have to put an end to your outdated legend. Ha ha ha. Do you think you can do it? The Golden Lion laughed wildly. Now, not only are a large number of your companions absent, but even the Navy has come to trouble you. What I didn't expect the most was that you actually offended the red-haired pirates. On the aspect of offending people, you are a legendary pirate. Ha 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 ha. However, I really didn't expect that the opportunity to kill you would come so soon. You stupid guy, you actually scattered your companions because of such a territory. Ha 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 ha. This is really a good opportunity to destroy you. How about it, Garp, Redhead? Do you want to cooperate with me to eliminate this guy? The Golden Lion said to Garp and Shanks. Although we are rivals, since we have the same enemy, how about we cooperate once? Ha ha ha. Well, excuse me, Golden Lion. Shanks raised his hand. Actually, we are not Ziyun's enemy. On the contrary, we are here to support them. If you want to GHD them, let us be your opponents. Shanks looked at Garp and the others. After all, Ziyun and the others still need to solve their troubles of the Navy and the world government. Hearing Shanks' words, the Golden Lion's laughter stopped abruptly. Redhead, are you serious, guy? The Golden Lion looked at Shanks incredulously. You guys know these guys and help them. Sorry, Golden Lion. Shanks pulled out his sword and pointed at the Golden Lion. As I said just now, if you want to attack Ziyun and the others, we will attack. If you can quit now, that would be the best. Accompanied by Shanks' words, a huge aura burst out from Shanks' body, and rushed towards the direction of the Golden Lion at an extremely fast speed. Domineering and domineering. Damn it, red hair, you bastard. Seeing Shanks who really shot at him, Golden Lion raised his hands angrily. At the same time, with a movement of the Golden Lion, the ground under the feet of Ziyun and the others began to shake, showing faint signs of cracking. Since you don't plan to join forces with me to deal with Ziyun, then you and Ziyun's companions will sink into the dirt for me. Lion Waffy roll. Hey, this is not good, Golden Lion. I just got the castle. Don't let me destroy it. Seeing that the Golden Lion was going to pry open the surrounding ground, Ziyun quickly used his telekinetic power to stabilize the ground under his feet, and the ground emitted a greenish light. You can't afford the demolition fee. Seeing the Golden Lion of the land that stopped trembling, he used his own fruit ability more. But no matter how hard he stepped up, he found that he couldn't control Ziyun's feet at all. Not only that, but also a large piece of land nearby that radiated green light. He couldn't control it anymore. Ziyun, what the hell are you guys? Seeing Ziyun who nullied his own abilities, Golden Lion frowned deeply. Forget it. Since you can control the land, I want to see if you can control the waves and islands falling from the sky. Redhead, since you want to be with me, if you are an enemy, then you will die here too. Damn it, Golden Lion, you bastard. Our soldiers are still here. You are going to bring down their island and the waves now. This is what you call cooperation. Seeing that the Golden Lion was planning to implicate himself and others, Carp roared loudly at the Golden Lion. It's Carp. Don't worry, I won't mainly target you. You just need to retreat. After all, I was planning to join forces with you just now. Hee. The Golden Lion said to Garp lightly. Damn it, you really are a lunatic. I must push you into the city again. Garp yelled angrily. In Garp's heart, he completely believed that the Golden Lion was a crazy guy. After all, this Golden Lion once dared to make a big fuss at the Navy headquarters by himself, but now he is attacking Ziyun, the red-haired pirates and himself at the same time. However, just as the Golden Lion was about to bring down the islands and sea blocks 018 in the sky, a huge light appeared in the direction of Semiramis. This made the Golden Lion cover his eyes, and temporarily stopped his attack. The huge light quickly gathered at the feet of Semiramis, and lifted Semiramis slowly into the deep space. At the same time, the light is also getting bigger and bigger in the process of rising. The black coffin of 10 and 1, activate. Be honored, this is a rare sight. Page 148. Let you see the city of the sky that humans cannot touch. Following Semiramis' words, the light under her feet began to dim, and at the same time a huge sky fortress appeared in everyone's eyes. Oops! Seeing the huge islands awaiting in the air rushing towards him, the Golden Lion thought to himself, no. At the same time, he waved his hands together, and all the islands and waves smashed towards Semiramis standing on the Sky Garden. This is Vanity's Sky Garden. Use the power of this age of gods to crush you, Golden Lion and its companions. Struggling like ants, hee. Ha. Following Semiramis' words, a huge light cannon shot out from the suspended black plates around the courtyard in the sky, and everything in front of the light cannon was annihilated by it. Whether it's islands, sea water, or eights. What is this? Looking at the huge awaiting fortress and seeing the huge light cannon red from it, Lieutenant General Huo Shashan of the Navy headquarters opened his mouth wide, and he didn't even notice that the cigar he had been dangling from his mouth fell off. The Ying fortress can emit huge lasers. Could this be an ancient weapon? The King of Heaven. Zephyr looked at the courtyard in the sky in shock and said, that woman, how did she control their entire island? Could it be that there are other people on this island? She said she was in Empress. Could it be that her in the fortress, with her people? No, compared with this, how did such a fortress in the sky suddenly appear? It is such power. The red-haired Shanks sighed. Perhaps, without our help, Ziyun and his companions can solve all these troubles. With the disappearance of the light cannon that illuminated the entire night sky, the black clothes once again enveloped the land. And with the disappearance of the light cannon, all the things brought by the Golden Lion also turned into debris in the air. 127. You woman, I will kill you. Seeing the manpower he had accumulated since he escaped from the city, his strength was reduced to ashes. The Golden Lion, who was lucky enough to escape Semiramis' attack, moved towards Semiramis on their Vanity's Sky Garden, at an extremely fast speed. Rushed over. Oh! Have you escaped? Semiramis looked at the Golden Lion rushing towards the Sky Garden in a little surprise. I heard that you were taught a good lesson by Drake's treasure. It seems that you already have experience in dealing with this kind of treasure. Yes. However, it's not that easy to get close to me. After Semiramis finished speaking, she waved her right hand, and at the same time, with her movement, 11 black plates gathered in front of the Sky Garden. Continue to witness the might of my stronghold. Following Semiramis' words, purple-white rays shot out from the black plate continuously. Hateful. Seeing the ray shooting towards him, the Golden Lion raised his right foot and kicked it with one blow. Chopping the golden slash quickly towards a ray, and at the same time the Golden Lion followed closely, hoping to take the opportunity to land on the Sky Garden when his own slash blocked a ray from Semiramis. Since you, a woman, have ruined everything I have, I will snatch your air fortress. In this way, I can also gather strength again. The Golden Lion who followed behind his own slash thought in his heart. Although the Golden Lion hoped that his slash could block Semiramis' ray, but unfortunately, after only a moment of stalemate with the ray that was shot, the Golden Lion's slash dissipated. In the air, the Golden Lion who was following slash hurriedly dodged to the side, dodging the ray that was attacking the Golden Lion after breaking slash. Seeing the rays brushing past his cheeks, Golden Lion breathed a sigh of relief when he realized that several rays had come in front of him. Lion Thousand Cut Valley. Feeling that the space around him was lead with rays, the Golden Lion could only raise his strength and kick out multiple sword chi that could cut several pieces of thick water like a mountain. The golden crescent-shaped slash collided with Semiramis' ray, and a violent light burst out. Seeing that his slash temporarily stopped the rays in front of him, the Golden Lion quickly took the opportunity to white the sky courtyard. It's really hard work. Semiramis tilted his head and looked at the Golden Lion ying towards him at a high speed. In this case, I will give you a chance to streamline me. Haha. Soon, the Golden Lion that escaped the rays from the courtyard in the sky landed not far from Semiramis who was sitting on the couch. Welcome to my Sky Garden, Golden Lion. Semiramis clapped his hands. You didn't have the chance to board my territory. But for your hard work, I gave you this chance. Then, before I take your life, pay me your respects. Page 149. Woman, I don't have time to talk to you. Blood on the cheeks of the Golden Lion, trotting towards Semiramis. Now, tell me how to operate this aerial fortress, and take this aerial fortress, and I will save your life. Oh, it turned out to be facing my sky garden. Semiramis shows disdain. With a smile, this is not a treasure that you as a mortal can get your hands on. And do you think you really have the ability to snatch my treasure from me? The body injured by Drake should be me, Semiramis said with a smile. Hee, it's not so easy to recover from being injured by her treasure. You came here to trouble us without recovering. I really should applaud your courage. Hee. Now, you have been attacked so many times by my treasure, and now you probably don't have much energy to GHT. Hearing what Semiramis said, the Golden Lion frowned. Even if I'm injured, without those strange rays, I'm not something a weak woman like you can resist. Now that we are so close, you don't dare to let those black slates shoot rays at me again. Since you can't honestly hand over this fortress to me, then don't blame me. Saying that, the Golden Lion knew towards Semiramis at top speed. Seeing the rushing Golden Lion, Semiramis slightly raised the corners of his mouth. Around her, at some point, a purple mist had already led the air. Puff. The Golden Lion that was rushing over suddenly stopped and half-kneeled in front of Semiramis. A large amount of blood spurted from his mouth. What exactly is going on? Feeling the pain all over his body, the Golden Lion stared at Semiramis with wide eyes. It seems you don't see what's around us. Semiramis put his hand on his head and said, you think you are close to me, but you just sent yourself to hell. Wine of the Pride King. This is the source of this purple mist. How about it, Golden Lion Shiji? The smell of my poison is not bad. Hee. Cough, poof. Damn it. Hearing what Semiramis said, the Golden Lion endured the pain in his body and wanted to continue to approach Semiramis, but he fell to the ground after taking only one step. Give up, Golden Lion. As a punishment for angering Ziyun, I will let you die in pain. Semiramis looked at the Golden Lion indifferently and said, in the next period of time, you should repent your sins well. Why is this happening? Finding that he no longer had the strength to stand up, the Golden Lion knocked his head heavily on the ground. There is no movement. The ghost spider looked at the black slate sky garden that hadn't emitted rays for a long time since the Golden Lion landed in Vanity's sky garden, and said, where did these blue star people come from, and why do they even have such things? The Ying squirrel who had contact with Ziyun and the others stared wide-eyed at the sky courtyard waiting in the air. Things like this, and a huge light cannon that can blast the island. Is this really the king of ancient weapons? Shanks, look, there's something thrown down there, Jesus said to Shanks. 128. As the sniper of the red-haired pirates, he has very good eyesight. Although the air garden was a certain distance from the ground, but when something was thrown down, he saw it at our SD sight. That's it, Golden Lion Shiji. Soon, Jesus saw clearly what the falling thing was. Page 150. I saw that the Golden Lion that had just climbed onto the sky garden fell down from the sky garden so quickly. The red-haired pirates and the people in the navy all stared wide-eyed. The Golden Lion failed. Seeing the Golden Lion falling straight down without using his fruit ability to Carp said solemnly. Boom. With the acceleration of gravity, in the eyes of everyone, the Golden Lion quickly fell to their ground, and the ground was dented by the falling Golden Lion. Looking at the Golden Lion with white eyes, a big mouth, and a black and purple body, everyone present widened their eyes. Garp frowned, walked to the side of the Golden Lion, and grabbed the Golden Lion's arm with an domineering look. Sure enough, it's the same thing as those two Zero agents. Feeling the black-purple light constantly attacking his domineering color, Garp stood up. I didn't expect that the Golden Lion who used to be in the headquarters of the Navy would die here. What? And so the Golden Lion died. Hearing Garp's voice, everyone present was surprised. I thought that the Golden Lion simply passed out, but unexpectedly he closed his eyes forever. I really underestimated you, Ziyun. Shanks shook his head and said, I thought you were just a powerful pirate group, but now it seems that you are a huge organization. Hearing Shanks' words, Ziyun smiled politely. Then, Garp, Zephyr, and the generals of the Navy, do you agree with my proposal just so now? Ziyun turned his head to look at Carp and the others. Will you two, Carp and Zephyr, GHT with us alone, or will you all GHT us together? Let's talk about it RST. If you choose the latter, I can't guarantee how many of you will survive. Garp and Zephyr looked up at the sky garden waiting in the air, and looked at each other. Ziyun, I hope you can abide by your agreement. We choose the former, and Zephyr and I will GHT the two of you alone. Garp stepped forward and said, if we, all of us here become your captives, but you can't hurt our lives. At most you can ask the Navy and the world government. And if we win. Zephyr walked up to Garp, you don't want us to leave, and you have to give us back there. Disappearing Kiwi and Agent Zero. Sorry, I can't agree. Ziyun shook his head. What do you mean, Ziyun? Kamen looked at Ziyun and said, could it be that we won? Can't we leave? No, you misunderstood me, Cap. Ziyun smiled and said, of course you can leave, but you asked me to return Huang Yuan and Agent Zero to you, which is a bit embarrassing for me. Let's not talk about Huang Yuan, but that Zero agent, you may not be able to bring it back. You should know, too, that I hate it. The world government. Since this is the case, do you think that if you are taken away, you will have 0 agents, and you may still be alive? After hearing Ziyun's words, Garp frowned. No matter what, even if it's his body, we have to take it back. All right. Ziyun shrugged. If you can win, you can take it away. However, you have to be able to win. Lieutenant General Garp, do we really want to compromise with these criminals? Seeing that Garp and Zephyr decided to agree with Ziyun's proposal, Ghost Spider said excitedly, such a thing, spread the word. Ghost Spider, please understand us. Zephyr, who is the chief instructor of the Navy, patted Ghost Spider on the shoulder. Now, this is not the time for to be arrogant. Seeing what his teacher said, the Ghost Spider stopped talking and silently retreated behind everyone. Seeing that the Ghost Spider was silent, and the other Navy and world government agents didn't speak anymore, Zephyr went to the opposite side of Ziyun. So, who do you want us to GHT against? As Zephyr said, he glanced around at Ziyun's companions. If you like this audiobook, subscribe the channel for more videos like this. And join my Patreon if you want to support me, where you can find advanced audiobooks that hasn't been uploaded on YouTube till now. Leave some comment and let me know if you guys like this story, or you have a web novel you like and want to hear its audiobook. I will be happy to create them for you. Please like, share, and leave a comment on the video.